Where would you like to see the company go from here on out? What are the greatest challenges for the company right now?
Well, I believe former CEOs shouldn't be commenting on the strategies of companies after they leave. So I'll rest with what I accomplished, and certainly am happy to accept an award like this for everything my father accomplished. There's actually a wonderful 10-part series that's launched on Amazon that talks about the founding of the magazine and the both First Amendment but also civil rights and civil liberties struggles. So I encourage anyone who's curious about Playboy to tune in for that show, and we'll all have to tune in for the next chapter.
And you're no stranger to the political process here in Washington. You've done some commentary on cable news before. What are the main issues that you're concerned about most now that we have a new administration here in Washington going forward? What are you going to be most involved in and outspoken about?
Well, there are some issues that I feel we were making great progress on, for example, criminal justice reform and women's rights, that I think now we all have to redouble our efforts to make sure that with a much more conservative Attorney General and President, we don't lose ground. At the same time, especially here in the museum, I think it's worth noting that underlying all the freedoms that we enjoy and all of the policies and programs that we advocate for is the First Amendment, and more than ever we need to be sure that we are supporting and defending a free, independent journalism.
Are you satisfied with what you've seen so far in those areas from the administration right now? And if not, what are some recommendations you have?
Well, I think it's troubling that the administration frequently characterizes the press as propagators of fake news, of the enemy of the people. Those are the kind of characterizations that occur in closed, not open societies. On the other hand, I think it's encouraging that everything from cable news viewership to subscriptions to the New York Times are up. So I think the vast majority of people, in whom I have a great deal of confidence, are going to make sure that the freedoms that underpin our society are not compromised.
And Tim Cook, who's honored tonight, said that technology companies have a role in filtering out fake news. Is there something you would like to see technology companies do in terms of the content that's out there, filtering fake news and trying to get what's factual out there to the public?
Yes, I mean, I think it's a delicate dance for a lot of the companies that want to be treated from a regulation perspective, not as content creators, but as, sort of neutral platforms. But I also think at the end of the day, the leadership of those companies, whether it's a Facebook or a Google or an Apple, understand that everything about how we receive information, as well as how we live our lives, has been influenced by technology, and therefore there's a responsibility to play a civic role. And I'm very encouraged by the kinds of statements that the people you've mentioned have been making about the role they have in not allowing what's sometimes called clickbait to be disseminated as if it were actually legitimate news. And I'm confident in the innovative skills of what are principally American companies to actually tackle that if they really intend to, and I think they do.